Believing in yourself is the hardest thing to do. Mom can't do it for you. Your wife can't do it for you, your spouse, your significant other. That's the hardest thing. I think we get a lot more shots than we give ourselves credit for.
Marc, you started out $5,000 investment and grew it into $1 billion clothing brand.
Yep, it says that somewhere on Wikipedia or something.
I did a little reading before I got here.
Yeah, I mean, we started really with nothing and made something out of it. People are like, wow, you did it so quick. But even with the fashion business, you know, it was a solid 7-8 years until we kind of hit our sort of mastery. And I would say the same with even Complex.
We're gonna break the internet, we breaking everything.
Like a wild Canadian rabbit.
I feel like you're turning me into a sneakerhead.
Once the hype's there, it's not going away.
Complex started as a magazine in 2002.
It started even before Rich came. It was like, I made it a CD-ROM magazine, right? Bad idea. Very cool.
I would not have let you do that, by the way.
But it was like, there was foreshadowing.
No.
There was a lot of foreshadowing going on, right?
It was a little early.
It was a little early by years.
Sent out with the AOL CD-ROM.
No, it was shipped on, it was a CD-ROM on the clothing. And so we did that for like 2 of them, and then we looked at the cost center. I was like, well, that's not going to work. And then we thought of this paper thing, and then we go from paper to digital, really led by Rich's sort of charge.
So when you originally started, who was your target? What did you envision?
You know, the positioning of the Ecko business was very much about convergence culture, streetwear and graffiti and skate, and there hadn't been a platform in media to serve that.
Before the internet really exploded, you know, we were the one place where somebody could come and service more of their overall needs, because it was basically that we were an aggregator of a whole bunch of the verticals. And what was interesting is it created the greatest opportunity in the world for us. As the internet exploded, disproportionately younger people used it more, and it's the biggest discovery platform in the world.
You were probably waiting for that social media
That
moment,
was our plan.
Exactly.
We spoke to everybody. You guys go launch that, and we'll just bump off of you guys.
I'm sure there were points along the way where you thought about throwing in the towel.
We almost ran out of money several times.
Complex was built inside the Ecko Unlimited business, and in 07, 08, when we were going through major undulations in business, and the financial
Great
markets
Recession
collapsed, and bank credit and all those things that had been funding my retail operation. Suddenly, you know, people were really up our back end on saying, well, what's this little line item, this little magazine thing? Like, why don't you start explaining this?
We didn't have Condé Nast or Hearst behind us at that point to be able to leverage all of the database that they had. But we did have how many pieces of apparel? Millions and millions of pieces of apparel that were distributed in all of the coolest stores on a global basis. Drop a hang tag on there, alert everybody to this magazine that's coming out.
Yeah, we got
that's
hundreds of thousands of
and
subs.
Hundreds of thousands of subscribers for pennies on the dollar from an acquisition perspective.
Our story is like, we just keep shedding our skin.
So what do you say to the person out there who is trying to become an influencer or trying to build their own brand in this digital realm?
Don't become an influencer would be my first piece of advice.
Why not?
Well, don't chase that. That's a 2014 type of thing. You see the backlash of influencer marketing from the agency and the client side.
It's not authentic.
It's not authentic. There's no differentiation.
That's one of the arguments.
And there's no differentiation. You have to do all these little one-offs, and then it's also tremendously not authentic. Throwing a hashtag up with a brand on top of an Instagram photo, how much value are you really getting?
But that's just a tactical thing. People want for unique points of view. They want for intimacy. I think there's a lack of intimacy in the market now. I think that it creates a lot of opportunity.
You've just made a very important delineation. That was my point. Is not don't try and be an influencer, but try and create a brand and try and create a franchise. Those are the way you're going to win, right? It's not just the scale or the amount of followers or even the platform you're on. Is who are you? What are you the expert in? Do you just have the most likes from a sneaker store yesterday or from a club the night before? that's fleeting,
Those aren't
that's
enough,
fleeting
yeah.
value is my point. What you really want to do is be creating serious differentiated content, and those are the people, if you see, that break through.
My advice would be, in this pursuit of a culture that is so individualistic, the one thing that you need to go out of your way to seek is the tension of honest critique from someone other than the voice inside your head. It's not so much what you can do, but it's what you don't do that sometimes make you better.
Learning how to say no to the wrong opportunity.
And also learning how to not have so much pride and hubris in this sort of me culture. Steel sharpens steel. And a lot of these sort of mom and pop operations that don't necessarily have the wherewithal of that of infrastructure, you got to find that tension. You got to listen to it from the audience. You can't just parrot what you're seeing in the marketplace. You know, truly being differentiated.
Most people, if you look at the real standouts and the real breakouts, both in business or in brands, it's the people that take the step outs that are the ones that have long-term success, that create.
That's creatively scary.
Right. It is. Super,
that is creatively
super
scary place. Most people don't want to play in that place because it's a scary place.
No, but look, it's scary in two ways. Let's go to the investor community. They're like, everybody likes to be like, oh, well, you're the Uber of this, so
Right.
it's close to that model.
Yeah, yeah.
It makes me feel comfortable.
Right.
Or you have creatives, right, who, by the way, supposedly, and we laugh about this all the time, are the most outgoing and chance takers.
They're not.
That completely not true. Here's what worked, either for me or for somebody else. Here's a derivative of that. Makes me feel comfortable that I can take less risk and be more successful.
How many of those big shots do you get in a lifetime?
A lot. Every
More than-
morning
more
you
than
wake
you
up
think.
and you have
That's
oxygen
right.
in your lungs. All right, and it saddens me that to see generationally, young folks and even my peers and even myself, I have to look in the mirror and be like, you got a shot. That is like, believing in yourself is the hardest thing to do. Mom can't do it for you, right? Your wife can't do it for you, your spouse, your significant other. That's the hardest thing. I think we get a lot more shots than we give ourselves credit for.
But I do think it's important to think here is we have this massive audience, 55 million monthly uniques, big on YouTube, big on Instagram, big on Facebook, big on Snapchat. There's no excuse for us not to take crazy shots all over the board.
You've got a Discover channel now,
Yes.
Complex Media does, on Snapchat.
I love her
into your
screensaver,
Snapchat
that
app.
broken glass.
I mean,
it's awesome.
it's my own
Very-
personal design. You click into this little button. Look, we're right there, up top.
So we're going to see how this actually gets made.
So this is where the magic happens.
This is the
Team
Discover
Snapchat.
team?
Yes.
The Snapchat team? Well, obviously, with backpacks like this, it's the Snapchat team. What's your name?
I'm Bryant.
Brian, nice to meet you. I'm Rebecca. What do you do here?
So I'm the managing editor for Snapchat. So basically, I'm taking all of the content that comes down from editorial.
So, Helen, nice to meet you. I'm Rebecca.
Hi.
So you're taking one of those stories and turning it into Discover, yes?
Yes.
So this is what literally goes into the actual
Yes, we
page.
had to make 30 of those.
What are you working on over here?
I'm working on some sneaker illustrations for an upcoming story on the sneaker channel.
Seems like a pretty good job.
Yeah, I love this. I'm getting paid to draw sneakers all day, so it's
Paid to
kinda
draw
awesome.
sneakers all day.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool.
We have spreadsheets. We have everything online, but we also try to visualize a little bit.
So
like,
this is Discover?
yeah. So you're getting a preview of a Discover thing that we're doing in a few weeks. The best horror movie every year since 1960. I get scared very easily, so there was one day where John, one of our designers, had Chucky.
Is that John?
Yeah.
Let's go
had
over
Chucky
it.
on his computer, and I
John,
got terrified.
John was laughing earlier.
So this is like the Halloween edition that we're doing?
So this is a sneak preview of Complex Media's Snapchat Discover page. How do you get this job, John?
I got lucky.